Harness racing is back at Albion Park on Saturday night. 10 races in total. We start at 5:13. The highlight is the free-for-all, the final ever race start at Albion Park for the reigning Queensland Horse of the Year, Gerardo's Delight. She's got the Ranji build coming up in Sydney, and then the curtain will come down on her career. Can she go out a winner at Albion Park? Well, time will certainly tell. In this edition of Weekend Winners, we're going to catch up with Chris Geary and Matt Elkins. Chris Geary jumps in the hot seat to go through his book of drives on Saturday night, and he joins us now. Chris, appreciate the time.
No worries, Chris.
Just looking at your book of drives, first and foremost, you've got some rough draws here on Saturday night.
Yeah, no, I had a quick look through. They, didn't look too kind, but sometimes that can sort of work in your favour a bit. You're sort of forced to probably drive them all in a similar fashion, and hopefully that works out.
Okay, well, fingers crossed. Let's go through them. Race 1, number 5, Cloud 9. Yet to win here in Queensland, but that last start effort was really good when you drove him, went fourth.
Yeah, no, I was really impressed with him. Never driven the horse prior to that, and thought he raced really well. The sectionals obviously was going to make it hard for him to get in the race, and I was really impressed the way he finished off and found the line.
Okay, the class runners look to be off the second row here on Saturday night. One big show aiming for 4 in a row. What's Up Sunshine going well, Rockin' with Elvis, Perfect Cut. They're all going well, but they're all facing the second row. Where do you want to be here soon after the start from this gate?
Ideally, just be nice just to be able to settle handy sort of without doing too much work, but I think that's going to be a little bit tough for him to do, so I'm not 100% sure where he maps, but he's got a little bit of gate speed. Obviously, like I said, prefer to probably not put all the eggs in the one basket there, and hopefully we can just slot in somewhere nice.
Okay, but do you think a winner's sort of starting to build? It won't be far away.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Like you said, his last run was really improved and found the line well. He's just sort of another bit of a sticky draw this week and a pretty good field. So, I'm sure if he comes up with a good draw sometime soon, or, the races run to suit him, a win's definitely there.
Okay. Race 3, which is the Open on Saturday night. This promises to be a really good race for a number of reasons. You've picked up the drive on the last start. Winner, Mr. Freeze. Now, he's a horse that just tries his heart out each and every time he steps out. But again, it's a sticky draw on paper. Yeah,
definitely. I watched that horse there, through the carnival, and he's running some really good races, probably with some better graded horses, and just not having much luck. And obviously his last start he dropped right back in grade and was too strong. So it's a pretty hot field, and over a mile he's going to need a lot of luck, but he's racing really well.
Yeah, he's got speed to his inside, he's got speed to his outside here, so the likes of Mac Da Vinci, Crunch Time on your inside, Will the Wizard on your outside, it's not going to be easy.
No, definitely, but sometimes that can play into a horse like that's hands. Obviously, a lot of those horses are gate speed horses and like to be forward. So, hopefully they just overdo it a bit.
Okay, well, that's Mr. Freeze there in race number 3, aiming for back-to-back victories. Race number 5, here's another bad draw on paper. Gate 7, this one's for you. How do you rate her chances?
Yeah, like you said, a bad draw. It's sort of been the way with her since coming up this time. She hasn't had a lot of luck with draws, and even running and racing, sort of nothing seemed to go on her way. But if you go back to her form in Sydney before she came up, I think she might have only got beat 10-15 metres behind Ladies in Red in the APG 4-year-old mares final. And I'm sure if she can sort of get some sort of run and can bring that form, she won't be far away.
Yeah, I sense frustration though with the luck of, no luck with barrier draws, and then that, luck in a running going against you, it's starting to build and prove quite frustrating.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, just speaking to her connections, I think this might be her last season before going to stud. So, it'd just be nice to be able to knock off a couple of races with her, just to really boost that form on the board before she sort of finishes up.
Yeah, she's a well-bred mare, well-related too.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's always sort of been a plan with her. If things didn't pan out on the track, she's obviously well-bred, and hopefully she can have a good stud career.
Okay, speaking of mares and mares in form, Parked in Heaven. Going really well, just missed out last time out when second. Draw, again, a little unkind, drawn out in gate 6, but she rates well here.
Yeah, she's a lovely little mare, Chris. She, she just kept improving since the time we first got her, and Like you said, a bad draw, but yeah, her run last week really pleased me. Her prior sort of 2 runs before, a little freshen up, just weren't as sort of up to what we know she can be, and just since a little freshen up, her last run was really good, and I'm sure she'll take a lot of improvement from it.
Are your main dangers to your inside here? Carla Jane, Pearl Harbour, She's Miss Divine, Norwest, Agenda and Strike?
Yeah, definitely. There's actually a fair bit of speed on that front line. Hopefully that works for us there. I know Pearl Harbour quite well from Sydney. She's a great gate speed mare, but seems to have a little bit of trouble finding the line. So hopefully that hasn't changed. But yeah, hopefully there's a fair bit of speed on early and she can get a good trip.
All right. Your final drive on Saturday night is race 9, and it's number 4, Mammals Magic. 4 runs back. How do you rate this mare?
Yeah, she's sort of been working back to a little bit of form, Chris. Last run, the race just didn't suit at all. They walked and sprinted home, and she was back last and was no hope from there. Drops probably back in grade a little bit to that veterans grade here, and hopefully with a kind run a little bit closer to the field, I'm sure she's going well enough to be thereabouts.
Okay. There's no standout, though, in that field, is there? Our Bondi Beach, Mafuta Vorten, they've both got good numerical form, but there's no standout.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's sort of probably the case. I think they're great races and a great initiative, those races. Like you said, there's no standout, and it's very even field, and it just gives those old horses a chance to sort of find a bit of form again.
All right. What is the pick of your drives coming up on the weekend?
The way it reads on paper before, it's probably the drive home, but yeah, I love Parked in Heaven. I think she's actually a really nice little mare, and she's going to need a lot of luck, but I know the ability's there, so we're just probably going to count on that.
Okay, we'll go with her. Race 8, number 6, Parked in Heaven. Hopefully luck is on your side and you can overcome those sticky draws Saturday night. We'll see you trackside.
No worries, thank you.
Matty Elkins now slides into the hot seat to go through his book of drives for Saturday night, and he's with us now. Matty, appreciate the time.
No worries, Chris. Pleasure as always.
We start with race 1, number 8, Ahoka Jimmy. Inside of the second row, what was the initial thought on the draw?
Yeah, no, he's probably a horse that sort of likes racing on the fence, so it's probably a draw that kind of suits him. Whether it's behind leader, 3 fence or whatever, you know, he sort of runs his best races when he gets that suck along the fence.
This is probably a little harder than his last couple of starts?
Yeah, he's sort of probably a bit of a step up, but in saying that, 2 starts ago he sort of run a nice 5th from 4 fence in one of those strong band 5s over the Winter Carnival. So don't think it sort of matters what sort of horse he races if he gets the right trip.
Okay, this race looks like it's going to generate good tempo, so that's going to suit Ahoka Jimmy. I think the faster they go, the better he is.
Yeah, 100%. Sort of, as I said, 2 starts ago they went pretty slick time over the 21, and he was hitting the line well. Last week they sort of dropped anchor, walked and turned into a dash home, and he just sort of struggles a little bit there. So the quicker they go, as you said, the better he normally goes.
The key runners are off the second row here in this race on Saturday night. Do you think that's going to prompt a fair few early moves in this race?
Yeah, it probably does. You know, if you've got a good horse off the second row, you've normally got to get into it at some stage. So that's kind of what you want when you're sitting on the fence, is moves to happen and the pace to stay genuine.
Okay, well, that's race 1, number 8, Ahoka Jimmy. Race number 2, Paravani's on the back up. He was outpointed there on Tuesday behind the stablemate, and kudos to you there. Hats off indeed, because the shady one was able to score. He broke a long run of outs. Did you ever lose any sort of faith in him that he'd get back to the winner's circle?
I was always pretty confident I'd get in there, but Narissa was starting to doubt us, I think. She was starting to put the pressure on and saying he needed to win one soon. But no, he'd been racing well and probably put the writing on the board last start, and it was good to finally crack that win and get him back in winning form.
Were you happy that Narissa took the drive, or would you just, you know, would have liked to have been behind the shady one when he scored?
It's always good to get a winner, but yeah, I would have loved to have had the drive and break that drought on him, doing a lot of work with him all the way through. But no, at the end of the day, it was a good result, and happy to get winners, and good to see horses back in form.
Was that your first stable, Quinella, at the Creek there?
Yeah, it was.
Okay,
yeah.
well, job well done. Paravani, he was second there behind the shady one. He went really well. He looks the leader again here on Saturday night.
Yeah, you know, he sort of, probably a month or 2 months ago, he probably hit a flat spot in his career and was probably going the worst that had him going, and just sort of went back to the drawing board. And I think his last 3 or 4 starts, he's started to work back, and I think he's nearly back to his best. And I'm expecting him to improve out of Tuesday and probably go a little bit better again Saturday night.
Okay, was it a tough decision? I know it wasn't ultimately your decision. It was taken out of your hands with the rules of racing, but you miss out on feeling for a rainbow here.
Yeah, it's always disappointing when you got to give up a drive on a good horse, but you know, barrier draws are a big thing, and I think with Paravani drawn in one, I think he can give him something to chase on Saturday night there.
All right. Feeling for a rainbow. You drove him in the trial the other night. Were you happy with his effort?
Yeah, you know, he normally takes benefit out of it, that first trial back, and they really run a slick last half in that trial, and he was just left a little flat-footed on the corner, but probably felt he was doing his best work through the line and after the line, so that was good signs from him as well.
Okay, pretty handy field that one there on Saturday night, race 2. Better Than Diamonds, Fond Memories, Tis a Sizzler, 3 in Heaven. They're all capable types.
Yeah, no, it's a very good race. Tis a Sizzler's been in good form and looks to have come back really strong, and 3 in Heaven, he's probably nearly the class horse of the race, but comes up with a tricky draw there. So, you know, we've got the barrier draw, and I think the horse is back in form, and we'll be looking to make use of it.
All right, well, that's Paravani in race number 2. Let's go across to race 8. This is a mare's race over the mile. Miss Mia, a last up Marburg winner, steps up to Saturday night grade. Can she handle it?
Yeah, you know, she's proven before at Albion Park that she's up to them mares. It's probably a good draw for her there off the second row, and she is back in winning form, so we'll have options there at the start just to give her a nice easy trip and look to be hitting the line, I guess, into some money.
That front line in that race, it's a strong field, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it is a pretty good mares race, that one. They're funny, they're mares races. Some weeks they're pretty strong and other weeks they're pretty weak.
Yeah, it's hard to pick them. But you're giving her some sort of chance though, Miss Mia?
Yeah, I'm sure she's racing well, and as I say, 2 off the second row is normally a good draw in them races with a bit of speed off the front, so we'll have options there, and hopefully we're not too far away and can be looking at me running some money.
All right, race 9, your final drive on Saturday night. Admiral Bronski, I find this a really intriguing race for a number of different reasons, but his run last week was okay. It was certainly a pass mark.
Yeah, didn't have the drive on him last week, but he was first up over 21 and had to go back, and much the same as a Hoka Jimmy, it was just a walk and sprint home, so it was very hard for anything back in the field. But he actually trialled prior to that, and I was very pleased with his trial on the front end in that trial. So no, I think he's working forward, and I think he'll be going well.
Okay, there's no standout in that field, is there?
No, it looks pretty open, and you know, only 7 runners in it. We might have a bit of a look at the start there, I think.
All right, well, a couple of interesting drives for you there on Saturday night. Which one are you most looking forward to?
The old boy, the old fave, Paravani. Anytime he draws one, it's pretty exciting.
Okay, well, hopefully he can go one better after his effort there on Tuesday. Race 2, number 1, Paravani. Matty, as always, really appreciate the time. We'll see you trackside.
Thanks, Chris.
A big thanks to both Chris and Matt giving up their time and insights ahead of Saturday night's program. As I said, starting at 5:13 on Saturday night, fairly good program. I think the best bet, though, comes up right in the middle of the card. Race 6, number 3, General Montana. This guy, he got owned last week by a very smart 3-year-old in Teddy Disco. They drove a very good race, but Teddy Disco just too big, too strong. I think he makes amends this week, and he can go all of the way. Race 6, number 3, General Montana, marking him as the best bet. Remember, if you are gambling this weekend, please do so responsibly. We'll see you trackside. Action gets underway just after 5 o'clock.